Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show. It's presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Hope you guys have had a better week than that Harrison Butker guy. There. Get the highlights of that. Yay! Anyway, hope you guys have had a wonderful week. Bottom line. Unfortunately, we do this show after the Phillies lose to the New York Mets yesterday. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm pretty broken up about it because the Phillies aren't supposed to lose to a team really ever like the New York Mets. And I did have a bad feeling going into the game right before the game. I just said, 4 games is tough. I know it's the Mets. And the Mets really tried in different moments to give the game to the Phillies. And the Phillies said, no, please, by all means, let us be a gracious host. You take the game. And it was one of those deals last night, and we'll go through it. I can tell you this much. I am really tired of seeing Philadelphia Phillies get hit by baseballs. Not just at the plate, but also on the mound. Gregory Soto gets a ball off his keister. You lose the game to the Marlins. Then you get Taijuan Walker getting a ball off his foot. He's got to leave the game after just 3 1/3. And then you got to have the bullpen go out there, not just for the rest of that game, but also 2 more innings of extra innings baseball. And then Jeff Hoffman gets one lined off his back on a ball that would have been an inning-ending double play. No, it would have been inning-ending play. It wouldn't have needed a double play. Cody Clemens could have just stepped on second base and then you'd be out of it. But unfortunately, that's not the way it went down. That's not the way it went down at all. The Phillies decided, hey, let's throw a couple of balls in the dirt here when we got runners on third base, and let's just give them 2 runs. Let's just spot them 2 runs. Gracious hosts are the Philadelphia Phillies. I know you can't win them all, but to lose one of them like that, rather annoying. Phillies also had a little bit of luck on their side, but we'll go through the whole game. We got some more Eagles schedule reaction. I saw that most of the Inquirer, hold on, all of the Inquirer had the Eagles losing their first game of the season to the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to live in that world for a second. And we got plenty of time before the season starts, of course, to really break it down. But that first game of the season in Tampa, Brazil, I understand that some people are a little maybe nervous about it. Well, it seems like the entire Inquirer is nervous about it. So we'll get into that conversation. And Tyrese Maxey, if you haven't seen this, you might have seen that he won, obviously, the most improved player in the NBA, which is a nice little thing right there. The Sportsmanship Award is his latest trophy. He was presented the trophy by his parents in what looked like their kitchen/living room. I'll spoil it for the people on the podcast. I'm sorry, this is going to be very visual. Here's a picture of Tyrese Maxey walking into his. Can you see the facial expression? This is the facial expression of a man who walks in after curfew. Sorry, I still had the mic up close to my face on that one. That's hey, you said you're going to be home by 11. It's 12:30. That's what that look is. But anyway, we'll talk about that as well. And then there was some history in Major League Baseball last night that we'll get to. And it was at the expense of the Dodgers. So we'll get into that conversation as well. But let's start it off with the Philadelphia Phillies. It is unfortunate. Taijuan Walker left that game in the 4th inning. And unfortunately, before he left that game, he gave up a monster shot of a home run by Pete Alonso. If you didn't watch the game yesterday, we'll go through the whole thing. But oh my goodness gracious. 439 feet to left center field was the home run there. There's 3 things that I look at in this game. The number one thing is, of course, Taijuan Walker having to leave early. I'll start at the end of this story for Taijuan Walker. X-rays were negative after he left the game. Taijuan Walker said after he left the game, he told the media after the game was over that his foot felt better. He got it off the right big toe. The official diagnosis was a big right toe contusion. So he got a bruise on the toe. He said after the game that it felt better than when it happened. So I guess that's a, no pun intended, step in the right direction. But now there's just one of those things where they monitor it. And the guy that I was thinking about right out of the gate was Spencer Turnbull. Because the other night during the broadcast, 2 nights ago, they made a huge deal out of Spencer Turnbull going to the bullpen. And they were basically saying what Spencer Turnbull had told them about going to the bullpen. He's like, I've never been here before. I don't know how to get ready. I don't know how to prepare. I'm just pitching when they tell me to pitch, basically. Then making it as simple as possible. So in the event that hey, Spencer Turnbull, go to the bullpen, and then go be a starter again, if that has to happen, which I doubt. I feel kind of bad for Spencer Turnbull, but then again, I wouldn't be frowning upon him rejoining the rotation. That's for sure. But after the game, it seems like everything is tracking well for Taijuan Walker. You go into that second inning, and this was another game that had a lot of mistakes, not nearly as much as the first game of this 2-game series at home, 4-game split series overall. But Beatty goes up there and gets the RBI double in the second inning. Next thing you know, you're in the hole, 2-0. Phillies couldn't get much going for themselves. Taijuan Walker settled down a little bit in that third inning, got a 1-2-3 inning, seemed pretty easy. And then, unfortunately, in the fourth inning is when he suffered that injury. Matt Strahm came in through 4 pitches, got the final 2 outs of that inning, and all was right with the world after that. Then you go into the fourth inning. JT Realmuto gets the infield single after Beatty couldn't corral the ball. Harper then, unfortunately, strikes out. Sosa gets hit by a pitch. And then Pache pops out to shortstop. Phillies had a base runner on, leadoff base runner on, couldn't get anything going after that. Go to the 5th inning, nothing doing there, unfortunately, for the Phils. And then the 6th inning, some good things actually happened. This is where I thought the Mets were handing the series to the game and the sweep to the Phillies. In that 6th inning, Orion Kerkering started things out. Got a 1-2-3, give a 1 hit to Stewart, but other than that, struck out the side. He was looking nasty yesterday. His sinker, his fastball, everything was looking great. Francisco Lindor was one of the batters that he faced, and he got him on a high fastball in the early goings of that inning. And Francisco Lindor just looks lost right now. We'll get to one of the fans yelled at him during the game. It was pretty fantastic. But anyway, you go then to the bottom of the 6th inning, and how that broke down was Kyle Schwarber led things off by flying out to right field. JT Realmuto banged one off the wall. I don't know if it was the knee. I don't know if he just hit the ball too hard, but I was a little surprised he wasn't standing on second base. Everything was played well. Marte's got a great arm there in right field, so it is what it is. He ends up getting a long single for a 1-out single. Then Bryce Harper comes up there, gets the infield single. Francisco Lindor couldn't corral it there at shortstop. Then Bohm steps up and gets the RBI single to left field. Originally, they did not give him an RBI for this. They then gave him an RBI. But that brought home JT Realmuto. It was a 2-1 game. Then Nick Castellanos did something. He got a sac fly RBI to left field. It's a 2-2 ball game. Harper ended up scoring on that. And then Whit Merrifield, who has just been anything but merry, he goes out there and he ends the threat by grounding out to Francisco Lindor at shortstop. Phillies get a really easy Gregory Soto in the 7th inning. So Strahm came in, easy peasy. Orion Kerkering came in, easy peasy. 7th inning, Gregory Soto, of all people, came in, easy peasy, a 9-pitch inning to get out. And a nice little play by Alec Bohm to start things off in that 7th inning, diving to his left to get a soft hit liner to third base. So we got the first out of the inning that way. And everything was cool. Going to the bottom of the 7th inning, Marsh strikes out, Clemens strikes out. Bryson Stott pinch hits for Christian Pache. He works a walk on 4 pitches, and then Kyle Schwarber. You can talk about a lot of things when it comes to the New York Mets about things they don't do well. I don't understand for the life of me, and maybe I'm just noticing it now. Maybe I'm a big dumb idiot, most likely. But I'm noticing how far Marte was shaded to center field and not the right field line. Like, if you look at Kyle Schwarber's, hey, I ain't complaining. I'm happy they did it. But if you look at Kyle Schwarber's spray chart, it's all right field. Like, there's a reason you shift on Kyle Schwarber in the modern, modified shift that Major League Baseball allows now. Bryson Stott leads off with that, or Bryson Stott gets a 4-pitch walk. Kyle Schwarber steps up and hits I won't even say it was that sharply hit, but he just hit the ball down the right field line, and it dribbles into the corner. I'm like, the moment I saw that ball hit the outfield, and I saw no right fielder, no Sterling Marte in sight, I went, stop scoring on this, baby. And it was meandering. That's the best way to describe the ball. meandering into the right field corner. Bryson Stott scores from first, tie ball game 3-3. Excuse me, Phillies take the lead 3-2 on this play. And I'm like, look at that. The Mets messed it up. And good for Kyle Schwarber. Then, unfortunately, the 8th inning is where Jeff Hoffman came in. And I like Jeff Hoffman. I don't want to pile on Jeff Hoffman, but this is where the Phillies had some bad luck on their side. They had some good luck on their side. We'll get to that. And then some bad luck on their side. The good luck was that the Mets were stupid and did not hug the right field line, and they go down 3-2. Then you go into the 8th inning, and this is where you did not have luck on your side. Taylor leads things off by getting on base. Of course, Bryson Stott, the guy I've been campaigning for to play more shortstop, gets an error, a throwing error at the shortstop position, and he throws the ball away. So now you got the leadoff runner on. Jeff Hoffman then, unfortunately, gives a walk to Pete Alonso. Good at bat by Pete Alonso. Give him credit. 9-pitch at bat. You get first and second with nobody out. Hoffman responds by making Francisco Lindor, again, look extremely lost at the plate, which he did. Then, by the way, they gave the stat. Francisco Lindor this season has left 80 guys on base. Later in the ballgame, it was 81. But at that point in the game in the 8th inning, it was 80. Then Hoffman gets Martinez to strike out on a slider. Now you got first and second with 2 outs. Things are looking a little better there for the Phils. And this is where that baseball found another Philly, unfortunately. Bader steps up. On a 1-2 pitch, Hoffman leaves a slider up just a little bit. Bader drops the barrel of the bat on it, hits it right up the middle. Now, because this has happened so recently with the Phillies, I was trying to find where the second baseman was, where the shortstop was for the Phillies to see if this would have been an out. It 1,000,000% would have been an out. The Phillies and Jeff Hoffman would have been out of that inning. No problem. No runs scored. You go into the bottom of the 8th inning. You look to add on a little bit. And unfortunately, the Phillies didn't do that either. But anyway, they were out of this inning. But the ball hits off of the back of Jeff Hoffman. It trickles far to the right. Another run ends up scoring. It's a tie ball game. And then Hoffman decides to give the Mets another run by spiking a ball in front of JT Realmuto. Pete Alonso comes in to score from third on the wild pitch. It's now a 4-3 game. You are losing. They get out of it. Marte ended up grounding out to Cody Clemens. Cody Clemens made a really good play on this ball, as a matter of fact. I thought Marte was going to be safe, but Clemens made it over in the hole and was able to get it and throw him out at first base. So the Phillies are now trailing by a run. But here's the good news. Edwin Diaz sucks. That's the good news. And Bryson Stott is his daddy. A couple of things happened in yesterday's game with Chase Utley in attendance, which was awesome to see. Chase Utley was in the booth for a while. A couple of things happened. One, Bryce Harper had a really hard slide into second base, of course, against the Mets. I'm going to think of Chase Utley on that. Chase Utley's in the building for it. The other is that someone else needs to be the Mets' daddy. And right now, it's Bryson Stott. And Edwin Diaz is his little baby boy. And Edwin Diaz steps up there. And if you didn't know, in that 9th inning, when he faced Brandon Marsh, and Brandon Marsh had a 10-pitch at bat to which he won with a walk, and everything that Edwin Diaz was throwing was inside, could not locate his fastball to save his life. Brandon Marsh works a full count, fouls off 4 pitches in the process, one of which he just turned on a little early. Otherwise, he would have tied the game right then and there. If you didn't know that Edwin Diaz was at least going to blow the save in that opportunity, I don't know what to tell you. But the minute Brandon Marsh worked that walk with 10 pitches, I went, oh, he's toast. The Phillies might not win it here, but I know Edwin Diaz is going to blow the save. And that's exactly what he did. So Brandon Marsh works the 10-pitch walk. Cody Clemens steps up. There's a wild pitch. Marsh takes second base, so he puts himself in scoring position. Thank you very much, Edwin Diaz. There's a mound conference, and it results in Cody Clemens, unfortunately, helping Edwin Diaz. There's a 3-1 pitch that Cody Clemens took a hack at. Can't fault him for it. And then he was able to get him on another pitch that was inside, if I'm not mistaken, and Cody Clemens just swung over top of it. So now you have it out. Bryson Stott's the next man up. gets the RBI single. It's 4-4 ball game. Schwarber, unfortunately, strikes out on 3 pitches, and JT Realmuto, here's where bad luck was on their side. JT Realmuto, in his at-bat, lined out to Jeff McNeil at second base, hit the ball on the screws. That ball gets through. Jeff McNeil isn't standing in that exact spot. The Phillies are winning this baseball game, and JT Realmuto's walking it off. But unfortunately, then you go into the 10th inning, nothing doing for the Phillies, nothing doing for the Mets either. And what was really incredible about this is Jose Ruiz came in for the Phillies, gave you 2 solid innings of work. Love to see it. And in this inning, in particular, you obviously have Navarez, or you have a runner on second base. In this case, it was Navarez. Taylor grounds out to second base. Navarez takes third. Okay. Infield comes in. Alonso grounds out to Bryson Stott at short, holds the runner at third. Great. And then he strikes out Francisco Lindor on a curveball to get out of that jam. Again, Francisco Lindor looks lost. Going to the 11th inning, or going to the bottom of the 10th inning, Harper gets walked. You have a runner on first and second with nobody out. Bohm ends up grounding into the 6-4-3 double play. Castellanos lines out to left field. Nothing doing. Going to the 11th inning, Martinez gets the double off of Jose Alvarado. It's a 5-4 ball game. RBI double, of course. Bader then gets a double. Marte strikes out. Viento strikes out. So again, you try to limit the damage here. You have a runner on third. You have 2 outs. So what do? You spike the baseball into the ground, and another run scored. Ends up being the difference in the ball game as the Phillies are only able to get 1 run in the bottom of the 11th on Jake Diekman, and the Phillies lose 6-5. I can take losing, but to throw 2 wild pitches with a runner on third is extremely annoying. To go 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position is flat out horrendous. And I know a lot of that had to do with 2 extra innings. And then also to lose to the Mets in a game that you actually fought back to take a lead, where you lose your starter in the 4th inning. So if you look at the most recent games here for the Phillies, 7 pitchers in the Marlins series, 6 in the second to last game. Then Aaron Nola goes a complete game shutout. Awesome. And then yesterday, you use another 7 guys again? Was that what it ended up being? 6? Whatever it wasn't great. It was what I will go ahead and call not ideal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullpen arms, 7 pitchers in total. Not ideal. Wouldn't chalk it up. Before the game. So that kind of stinks. But after the game, Taijuan Walker, as I said earlier, is looking just basically a wait-and-see moment to see how that... It's a waiting game right now for Taijuan Walker. Phillies will be back at it tonight when they start their series with the Washington Nationals. Phillies now 31-44. The Braves did not play last night, so they pick up a half game on the Phillies at 2.5 games out of first place. Let's shift it over here and talk about your Tyrese Maxey. I'll show you this picture one more time. Here's how it started. He walks into his house. His parents are waiting in the eating area of the house, and they're like, hey, you won the Sportsmanship Award. Now, it sounds like it is. I mean, here's what it is. The Sportsmanship Award in the NBA, according to the NBA's release, is the annual award designed to honor a player who best represents the ideals of sportsmanship on the court. Now, this is the part I didn't realize. Each NBA team nominates 1 player. So the Sixers nominated Tyrese Maxey. And then a bunch of guys there with the league executives select 1 finalist from each NBA division, and then they select the winner. NBA players select the winner from there. Look at Tyrese Maxey looking at this beautiful award. How nice is that? That's cool. He really loves it. But when it comes to Tyrese Maxey walking into that eating area, and his parents are like, we have something we want to tell you. And he's like, what the hell? Come on. Anybody? He's just like out. I don't know. He looks like he maybe come back from the gym. Probably. He loves to work on his game. And his parents are there in the eating area, and they're like, hey, you won the award. Congratulations. And then they present him with a trophy. And he looks at it longingly. That's beautiful. I think Tyrese Maxey is our one nice takeaway from this NBA season for Sixers fans, that he can be that guy. And that Daryl Morey said after that they had doubts going into the season about whether or not Tyrese Maxey could be the second leading scorer or second best player on a championship caliber team. One of the things that he said was absolutely. There was doubt about it going into the season, but now there's no doubt. So, look, the Sportsmanship Award isn't something you throw a parade over, as we well know. If you don't throw a parade for the MVP, you're not going to do that for the Sportsmanship Award. You're not going to do it for the most valuable player. But here's the reason I actually find this relevant. There is just an overwhelming amount of evidence. And the most important thing is that Tyrese Maxey is well on his way to being a great NBA player. All-star, fantastic. Most improved player, great. The Sportsmanship Award, I think, gives you a little bit more of a mindset as to, or at least a little bit more look into the mindset of Tyrese Maxey and how people look at him. The Sixers to nominate him is one thing. For the NBA to break it down to the finalists with 6 others and go, no, Tyrese Maxey above all else, that's pretty spectacular. Guys were tweeting out yesterday about what a special player and what a special guy Tyrese Maxey is. Tyrese Maxey, and I hate to tie it into everything else, but it does feel like we need some, I hate to use the word karma, but good karma thrown the 76ers way. Tyrese Maxey is ultimately the apology for the failure that Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons were here in Philadelphia. I wish he was a little bit older so that maybe you're going through instead of going through the Ben Simmons years, you're going through the Tyrese Maxey years. Because if Tyrese Maxey was in the role that he's in now, and at the level that he's at now, there's no way the Sixers lose to the Hawks. There's no way that happens. There's no doubt in my mind that the Sixers make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, at least, if Tyrese Maxey was just a couple of years older. I wish that it was a better matchup in terms of, going through their primes together. But with Joel Embiid still having, I'll say, maybe 2 more years of phenomenal basketball left in that body, and Tyrese Maxey just really coming into his own right now, and it only seems like he is going to achieve more and more and more. Yeah, I wish it was just a little bit staggered. But he's the apology. I feel that the basketball gods gave the city of Philadelphia for, hey, we know you've been through a lot. Speaking as a basketball god right now, we know you've been through a lot when it came to tanking for 3 years. We'll call it a process. We know that Joel Embiid hasn't been exactly healthy. We know that Ben Simmons was a huge disappointment. We know that Markelle Fultz, huge disappointment. We know all that. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. Even though we also gave you that quadruple doink with Jimmy Butler, here's what we'll do. Instead of your 2 number 1 overall picks panning out, we're going to give you a 20th overall pick. We're going to call him Tyrese Maxey, and we're going to make him one of the greatest draft picks in the history of the franchise. And that's what Tyrese Maxey is. Make no mistake, to get that guy at 20 is mind-blowingly incredible. And one of the things that I absolutely love about these off-season awards, the most improved player, great, sportsmanship, great, but it's just the mounting pile of evidence about how much this franchise with Tyrese Maxey, and for however long he's going to be here in Philadelphia, is going to be in good hands. And we're going to get someone that is exactly what we want in a Philadelphia athlete. We look at guys, and you talk about the Mamba mentality is what it's really become known as because Kobe Bryant is so associated with it. I was a kid in the Michael Jordan era and loved every second of it other than we would beat the Sixers. But we want guys that always feel like their best game is in front of them, and they always feel like there's something new to add to their arsenal. And we can look at Jordan in the fadeaway, Kobe in the fadeaway. We can look at a whole bunch of stuff about guys adding things to their game. We can talk about guys like Tim Duncan that just kept adding to their game, and not just adding to their game, but when they realized their skills started to diminish in another aspect, they went a different direction. That's what Tyrese Maxey has. That's what's in his head. Just keep on getting better. So most improved player, hey, makes a lot of sense. After his rookie season, and you listen to Doc Rivers talk about, and I know Doc Rivers is in this beef right now with J.J. Redick, and let me tell you something. I don't know if there's ever been a beef I've cared less about that involved two people that were in Philadelphia. But anyway, listening to him tell a story about how Tyrese Maxey called him the day after they got bounced out against the Hawks. And he's like, what do I do now? And he's like, go on vacation. Go on vacation, then come back, and we'll take it from there. I after all that has gone wrong, and this includes the injuries with Joel Embiid. I mean, hell, we all love Joel Embiid's talent. The question is whether or not he's going to be there at the end of the season to help you win, whether or not that level of talent will be there at the end of the season to help you push through the playoffs. But Tyrese Maxey, the best way I think you could describe him is the apology to the 76ers by the basketball gods of maybe taking it a little too far for punishing us when it came to the epic failure that the process was. All right, you're not going to have the two number one guys hit. You're going to have a 20th overall guy hit. Huh? Take it or leave it. Unfortunately, we have to take it. Let's get into your Philadelphia Eagles because I saw some stuff from Inquirer.com that did not leave me a happy camper. When it comes to that game in Brazil to kick off the NFL season, the Eagles 2024 NFL season in Brazil on September 6th, that Friday, I've seen the Inquirer.com come out there with some unfortunate negativity. And they're calling it as they see it. So I understand it. They're not purposely going out there and saying that the Eagles suck or anything like that. But it was E.J. Smith, Jeff McClain, and Olivia Reiner, friend of the show, talking about that 8:15 kickoff that Friday night, September 6th in Brazil. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, so I don't want to spoil the Inquirer's whole story. But E.J. Smith, Jeff McClain, and Olivia Reiner all have him losing that opening game. I know it's in Brazil. I know the Eagles have two new coordinators that are taking over. I know there's been a lot of turnover there at the coaching positions, at the coordinator positions. There is no way I can stomach the Eagles losing that first game of the season. I have them winning that first game of the season, for the record. The Green Bay Packers showed last year that they were a well-coached football team. There is no better example than the way they were able to beat the Dallas Cowboys in their first playoff matchup in Dallas. There's no better example of how well a coached team they are than that game, where they just said, we're going to run it down their throat. We're going to have long, sustained, successful drives early. We're going to wear them down. We're going to make them play catch-up. And that's exactly what they did. They went out and they executed it well. They had a phenomenal game plan. For the most part, an easily obtainable game plan. It wasn't unrealistic. Like an unrealistic game plan, like, we're just going to run up the score on them and hope they can catch up. Well, they can catch up. They can go punch for punch. They can go tit for tat with you. But if you methodically drive the ball downfield and you make them play from behind, they're going to make a lot of mistakes. And that's exactly what happened in that game. But there has been a debate, and our friend Dan Cilio here on Jacob Media has thrown this out a number of times about Jordan Love or Jalen Hurts. I'm a Jalen Hurts guy. And I know that the guy who is hearing a lot of the Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts comparisons is Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts, as I've pointed out many times, does not have a single excuse in the book. Not that he looks for them, but if he's a guy that's going to be motivated by what other people say, motivated by other people's predictions, personally, I want all the shade thrown on the Eagles. For a team that has had such a phenomenal offseason, for predictions like this to come out right out of the gate saying, oh, no, let's not talk about a wire-to-wire first-place team. Let's not talk about a team that is going to come out of the gates just playing amazing. When they get to reasoning as to why they could lose that first game of the season, look, any team can lose at any point. I think the Eagles have the chip on their shoulder with the way last year ended to make sure they get off on the right foot this year, to make sure they get back to at least that 10-1 record. I don't think they do in the upcoming season, but at least that 10-1 record that they had last year and the year before. That's a team that is a force to be reckoned And offense, oh my goodness, crazy. You want to talk about a team just outscoring another opponent? You want to talk about a team running it up? This Eagles team, when it comes to the offensive success, oh boy, they can do a lot of things. I know you can talk about Xavier McKinney being added to that secondary. You can talk about Edrin Cooper, a guy that a lot of people, myself included, wanted here in Philadelphia. There's a lot going on there with what the Packers bring to the table. I get it. But if the Eagles are going to start off the season with a chip on their shoulder, which I believe they are, then there's no better way to start knocking that chip off than to start winning football games in a dominant fashion in São Paulo, Brazil. I'm looking at this, and one of the reasons they have E.J. Smith. Packers, unlike the Eagles, finished last year on a high note. It's exactly the reason why I think the Eagles come out of the gate strong. So he's using that as something detrimental to the Eagles. Jeff McClain, Eagles expected to keep travel to São Paulo to a bare minimum and won't arrive early for practice dates. The direct flight is approximately 8 hours, but there's only a 1 hour time difference. They're going to lose because they're not traveling. Okay. Olivia Reiner, Eagles season opener at São Paulo against the Packers features a matchup between two teams that had opposite seasons in 2023. Eagles ending horribly, Packers ending strongly. Packers won 6 of their final 8 games. This, to me, is all more. The only thing that I'll buy a little bit, believe it or not, is the travel. If the Eagles are going to arrive early, it does bother me a little bit. But when you talk about the way their seasons ended a year ago, the team that absolutely wants to win this game more is the Philadelphia Eagles because they got the horrible taste in their mouth. And look, it's a whole other season. You have different coaches in both spots. You have different players in both spots, whatever. But for me, this is a game that the Eagles, I am not saying a must win in week 1. I'm not saying that at all. But for their own sanity, the fact that they lost, an epic historic collapse to end the season. A team that looked 1,000,000,000% lost. You hit the reset button with 2 new coordinators. You have a stacked offense. If you can't get things going right in this offense, I don't know what to tell you. Especially when it seems year after year, offenses are ahead of defenses. And you're going to go up against that Green Bay Packer defense. You have all the weapons in the world. I don't want to be hearing about any losses in week 1. Let's put themselves in the mindset where they do lose. The last year's horrendous collapse rolls right into this year's. Not really how I think the Eagles want to start their season, and certainly not the way the Eagles fans want them to start their season. And here's the other thing. People like myself that were maybe far more venomous in their words to fire Nick Sirianni will only be thumping their chest even more about Nick Sirianni still being here in Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni needs to go after 1 game. Nick Sirianni, but it's not just 1 game, it's also the way last year ended. Nick Sirianni needs to go. Kellen Moore needs to be the head coach. If the Eagles score 30 points in this game and they lose, fire Sirianni, elevate Kellen Moore. Let's go, baby. Go Birds. That'll be the way it goes after that. But yeah, it's a little crazy. So I just thought it was interesting that the 3 beat writers for the Inquirer have them losing game 1. So brace yourself. I love the fallout that comes from the schedule release. I do love the fallout. By the way, for the record, they did have them winning their next, let's see how many games they all had them winning after that. Throw the next 3 games. Then they lose to the Browns? All right. I don't want to go through their whole story. You can check it out at Inquirer.com. Maybe we'll get Olivia on after this, and we'll be like, hey, Olivia, what's the deal with all this? I got some stuff I want to save for the morning rush, so we'll get to that a little bit later. But right now, let me tell you about the great people at MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. Oh, my goodness gracious. Download the MyBookie app to your phone. Use promo code Farzy. You get up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus at MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. Want to bet on the world of the NBA playoffs? NHL playoffs? Oh, baby. I hope you had the Timberwolves yesterday. Good gosh. Download the app to your phone. Use promo code FARS to get up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus at MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. How about the Game Time app? Want to go to the game? Want to go to the concert? Want to go to the comedy show? Go check out the Game Time app. They have all-in pricing when you go to buy your tickets, so you're not surprised with what the final, when you go to check out, what the final price is. Wait, hold on. How did these tickets get $5 more expensive? What? No. All-in pricing. You can also view a panoramic view of the seat before you buy it. So it's not just one shot of where you're going to be looking. It's, you can look around a little bit. That's my view. All right, sounds good. So you got that, and you also have the Game Time guarantee. The Game Time guarantee is incredible. Game Time guarantee means if you find tickets in the same section and row for less money on another ticketing site or app, you get credited in your account 110% of the difference. That right there is the Game Time app. So do what I do. Do what everybody's doing right now. Download the Game Time app to your phone. Create an account and use promo code Farzy to get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app. Use promo code Farzy and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's phlsportsnation.com. And how about Sky Motorcars? SkyMotorcars.com. Check out the amazing inventory Brett has to offer at SkyMotorcars.com. Let's get into the chat check and see how you wonderful people are doing on this fine morning. Did I miss the singing? You did not miss the singing, T-Bro. No singing today. Daz, good morning. Sean Kilrain, what's going on? Oh, boy. I see us losing to teams we should outright beat, but end up losing. Sean, I feel like you are talking about the Eagles, the Phillies, the Sixers, and, yes, the Flyers. That's just how that. Actually, the Flyers did pretty well against them. Well, who did the Flyers do really well against this year? It was the Panthers. They did pretty well against the Panthers this year. Taiwan Walker's toe is not broken. Phillies aren't sure about his next start. They'll see how he feels tomorrow. Walker encouraged. Can you say Turnbull? Oh, I could say Turnbull. Sean Kilrain, I used to like Bader. Now I can't stand him, Farzy. It's amazing how one game can do that. I still can't get, man. When I was doing the post game last night, or the post cast, excuse me, I was just like 2 wild pitches that allow runs to score in the 8th inning and the 11th inning. That's literally like, here, take the game, please. Sean Kilrain, Nicky 3 buttons. Ever gonna hit? Oh, hit the bench for some rest. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be his thing. He seems to like to play his way through things. If I'm Rob Thompson, I'm like, yeah, man, just chill. Look, you're over. Is he still over 200 after last night? Oh, geez. 0 for 4 with the run and the RBI. 201 on the season. Something else I was reading on the Inquirer yesterday. David Murphy had a story about the 3 needs for the Phillies, like things he sees the Phillies still going after. And I know everyone jumps to the bullpen, and sure, they could use more bullpen help. I will say Jose Ruiz was nice. Nice watching him last night. And then one of the other things was a right-handed bat you could count on. Like Whit Merrifield. Whit Merrifield is scaring me right now. 188 on the season. After getting some things going for himself, he's down to 188. His batting average since the 4th of May has crashed from 250 to 188. So he was batting 107 on April 15th. He got that all the way up to the height of 250 and then steady decline. He's 7 for 42 this month with a 167 batting average and a 271 on base percentage. Holy pots and pans. Yeah, that ain't good. That ain't good. I'm trying to think of what the other one was. Right-handed bat. You can count on bullpen. Oh, and this one was a I think he even, I don't know if he used the word stretch or what it was. Outside the box, like more insurance for JT Realmuto. The heck is going on here? Morning, y'all. Farzi, I knew when Schwarber was going up with the last out, I knew he was going to strike out. Yeah, was not good. I mean, I still had hope. Especially with the way the Mets bullpen had been performing. And Diekman, I didn't like how much the Phillies helped out Diaz. I didn't like how much the Phillies helped out Diekman either. April, good morning, April. Mike Foji, good morning, good people. Happy Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Congratulations to Tyrese Maxey. Yeah, Ty Maxey. Like, huh? Well deserved. James Alexander, good morning. Lost last night, doesn't matter. We're going to regroup. We're regrouping after one loss. Jason A., what's going on? Love Maxey. Breath of fresh air. That's the best way to this. Yeah, absolute breath of fresh air. Sixers going to the Eastern Conference Finals next season. I'm in the realm now when I think about the Sixers of, maybe you don't get a big star. Maybe you don't draft Bronny. Maybe you don't try to lure LeBron James. Maybe you just spend money on the little glue pieces on building a deep bench. For instance, the center position, so that the world doesn't fall apart when Joel Embiid's not playing in the game. Just an idea. Just a thought. You know what I'm saying? Sean Gillespie, good morning. Jason A., this year we should have been Eastern Conference Finals at least. With seeing who's left, I'm hoping the Knicks make it. Otherwise, we really were bad. They're back at it tonight, right? The Knicks. I saw the Nuggets talking about history. Good Lord. 115-70. The Timberwolves beat them. That's pretty impressive. As far as the Knicks, they are at it tonight. Look to finish off the Pacers in that series. 8:30 start time. Yeah, they're in Indiana tonight. Yeah, they're in Indiana tonight. 8:30 start time. ESPN has it. Knicks up in the series 3-2. Good Lord. Sean Gillespie, speak it into existence. Sean Gillespie, the process will be talked about for generations in how to not build a team. So there's that. Oh, yeah, the process ain't going away. I've told you guys many times. Holy Straboli. Yeah, the process is something I'll tell my grandkids about. Mark sacrifices chickens. That's your name. Nice to see you. Twiz, what's going on, Twiz? No games, no camps, but win-loss predictions. Love the NFL. The NFL, man, is the bountiful teat that sports fans just can't help but to suckle at. It really is. I mean, I am not of the school of let them eat cake, feed them cake, and all that, whatever, I believe in a nice, balanced, nutritious meal. But I'm telling you, the average sports fan just will love anything from the NFL. There was even did you guys see this? This is one of my favorite things that came out, because you want to talk about really trying to break down the schedule. Where did I see this? I think it was Bro Bible. Bro Bible broke it down to where the NFL was tailoring the schedule to Taylor Swift's Eras Tour schedule. Yeah, here you go. NFL seemingly tailored its schedule to fit Taylor Swift's tour, and the Kansas City Chiefs, a game between the Chiefs and Bills is in Buffalo, caught the eye of some observant fans. Coincidence? The game falls right in the middle of Taylor Swift's 6-show run in Toronto. Swift plays 3 shows at the Rogers Center from November 14th to the 16th when the Bills are hosting the Chiefs. Coincidence? I think not. Because there's one game. John Messina, as far as the Eagles need to win game one. It's a must win. Let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's call it a must win. Sean Cohen, sorry, it was for the Eagles. I got you. I got you, brother. Mason Miller. Dad's on the Mason Miller hunt. Say it every day until it happens. John Messina, Phillies need Turner to return soon. He was doing the running and stuff in the outfield again yesterday. I'd say he's back in at most 2 weeks. Johnny G, doctor, good morning. Ooh, Nuggets got dog walked last night. Oh, hell yeah. They got destroyed. I'll say that for the morning rush. You like that, did you? Yeah, thank you, Jason. Kay Adams show, she had a schedule maker on and said they absolutely worked it out around 10. Really? Oh, that's beautiful. Hey, we want to make travel easier on these two lovebirds, especially for Tay-Tay. Taylor Swift effect, man. Taylor Swift effect. All right, let's get to. Thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. Let's get to the morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Pacers and Knicks at it tonight. 8:30 tip-off, as I mentioned. Phillies are back on the diamond tonight in South Philly to open up a 3-game series with those Washington Nationals. Zach Wheeler gets the start for your Phils. Wheeler looking to rebound from his 6-run performance against the Miami Marlins. He'll have JT Realmuto back behind the plate. Jake Irvin gets the start. Irvin is 2-3 on the season with a 3.55 ERA. Wheeler is 4-3 with an ERA of 2.53. How about that? His ERA in his last start skyrocketed from like 170, I want to say, to 2.53. Wah, wah. This will be Wheeler's first start against the Nationals on the season. As for Jake Irvin, taking on the Phillies tonight, 6:40 start time, by the way. He faced the Phillies one other time this season. He lasted 6 innings, giving up 4 runs, all of them earned, including a home run. It was also his first loss of the season, and that was back on April 6th. The Phillies won that game 5-2. As for everybody else, the NBA, I mentioned last night's game, the 115 to 70 loss. 70 points is the fewest points the Nuggets ever scored in a playoff game in franchise history. That's pretty impressive. Anthony Edwards was absolutely incredible in the game, including falling hard on his back, but getting back up and just continuing to dominate in that game. That was a beautiful thing to see. Just because I like Anthony Edwards' game. Not that I'm some Timberwolves fan or anything like that, but pretty wild. Nikola Jokic, after the game when he was addressing the media, he looked shell-shocked. He looked like he had no idea what the heck just happened. Trying to get to the finals. Edwards had 27 points on 87 shots. Or excuse me, 27 points on 17 shots. Jeez, that would be a record. Jokic was able to come up with last night 22 points on 19 shots, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. One thing I meant to check. Yeah, only 12 turnovers to the Nuggets. Yeah, Nuggets had 12 turnovers. Timberwolves had 6. Woo! That's rough. That's rough. So that's the way that shook out. I mentioned in the early goings of the show, I mentioned some history in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers lost to the Reds yesterday, but in that game, not only was it bobblehead night for Shohei Ohtani, but Elly De La Cruz, he had 4 stolen bases in the game, almost had 5 on a delayed steal attempt. But he's got 30 stolen bases on the season in 44 games. That's the fastest to 30 stolen bases since Kenny Lofton in 1996. Former Philly, Kenny Lofton, in 1996. He's got more stolen bases, 30, than 19 MLB teams right now, including the Dodgers, who only have 29. And he's on pace for 110 stolen bases, courtesy of ESPN Stats and Inc., Stats and Info. And no other player has reached 100 stolen bases since 1987. What a world, baby. What a world. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is the Farzy Show, presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. So make sure you download the app and have all yourselves a good time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Back with you guys tonight on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Jacob Media YouTube channel. And, of course, make sure you like and subscribe to the Farzy Show YouTube channel as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be back with you guys tonight after the Phillies game on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Then back with you guys for the Farzy Show again on Monday. Have a great rest of your weekend. See you guys later. Bye.